The house smelled like citrus cleaner and roasted meat, the kind of smell meant to signal order. Chairs had been counted, candles placed at equal distances. My father liked things aligned because alignment looked like control. Grandpa's wheelchair broke the symmetry even when it was tucked close to the table. He didn't complain. He never did. I noticed early how my father kept redirecting the chair, an inch here, a turn there, so the footrests wouldn't scuff the rug. Each instruction came with a smile that wasn't unkind enough to argue with. Grandpa nodded and complied, folding himself smaller. I told myself this was nothing. Families have rituals. Christmas magnifies them. Conversation floated around safe topics: weather, traffic, someone's promotion. When Grandpa spoke, it was to ask for salt or to remark on how the potatoes were softer than last year. No one answered him directly. Responses passed over him like a breeze over water. I caught his eye once, and he smiled, a thin line that said, "Let it pass." The correction came when he tried to share a story about a building downtown, how the bricks were laid by hand, how the windows held heat better than people thought. My father interrupted, voice calm, precise. "Let's not get into that tonight." He didn't say why. He didn't have to. Grandpa's stories took time, and time was my father's currency. Plates were lifted, knives clicked. Then Grandpa asked if we could move closer to the heater vent. His hands shook from the cold. He never quite escaped. My father set his fork down. The sound shocked into the quiet. "This isn't working," he said, not looking at Grandpa. "We've arranged things a certain way." He stood and opened the door to the hallway. The meaning arrived before the words did. "You should go," he said. "Both of you. We'll talk later." No one asked where. No one protested. Silence has weight when it decides something. Outside, the night pressed in hard. The temperature cut cleanly efficient. I wrapped my coat around Grandpa's knees and locked the wheels. The porch light stayed on as if to mark the boundary. We weren't supposed to cross back over. I waited for the door to open again. It didn't. We moved in stages down the driveway, past a row of cars that might as well have been props. Our breath fogged and faded. Grandpa's hands rested on the armrests, steady. He didn't apologize. He didn't explain. That unsettled me more than anger would have. At the bus stop, under a flickering bulb, I said what I'd been holding. "I'm sorry." "For what?" he asked. "For not—" I couldn't finish. Intervening, making a scene. I didn't know which failure counted more. He watched the snow gather at the curb. "People confuse peace with quiet," he said. "Quiet is easier." A car pulled up that wasn't a bus. Dark, clean, unmarked. The driver stepped out, coat buttoned to the throat. He checked his phone, then us. "Mr. Calder?" he asked, voice professional. Grandpa nodded once. The driver opened the back door and lowered a ramp with practiced ease. No hurry, no apology for the delay. Inside, the air was warm in a way that reached your bones. As the chair locked into place, the driver handed Grandpa a folder without ceremony. "I'll take you where you prefer," he said. We rode without music. Streetlights slid past like metronomes. I stared at the folder until Grandpa rested his hand on it. Not possessive, just present. "I didn't plan to tell you tonight," he said. "It was supposed to be a holiday." "Tell me what?" I asked. He sighed, not tired, resolved. "I've been careful," he said. "I built things that last. Then I learned not to be seen standing near them." The words came in pieces. Trusts, boards, properties managed by people who never raised their voices. A figure slipped out by accident, 2 point something, and he corrected himself, embarrassed by imprecision. 109 addresses, counted not with pride, but obligation. I waited for the punchline. It didn't arrive. "Why keep it secret?" I asked. He considered. "So I'd know who listened when I had nothing to offer." The driver merged onto the highway. My phone buzzed with a message I didn't open. The car turned toward a hotel I'd only ever passed, its windows a grid of warm squares. The staff greeted Grandpa by name without curiosity. Papers were signed, a sweet key appeared. Everything moved like a system that had been rehearsed long before tonight. In the room, Grandpa took off his coat and smoothed it over the chair. He asked if I wanted tea. I said yes because saying no felt like refusing gravity. "I won't be confronting your father," he said, as the kettle hummed. "Authority is loud when it feels safe, quiet when it isn't." "What happens now?" I asked. He smiled, not thin this time. "Now, nothing dramatic." Nothing dramatic turned out to be emails that didn't seek us, invitations rewritten, requests routed through assistants who spoke in calendars and clauses. My father called once, voice measured as if addressing a problem that might be negotiated away. Grandpa didn't answer. He sent a note instead. Warm, brief, final. Christmas passed. Winter did what winter does. When we met again months later, it was at a neutral place with wide doors and level floors. My father shook Grandpa's hand like a stranger's. He asked questions. He listened. Power hadn't flipped. It had settled. Grandpa never moved back into the center of any room. He didn't need to. He'd learned long ago that dignity holds without witnesses. I learned something else. Loyalty doesn't announce itself. It waits in the cold, steady until the door opens from the right.